Have you ever felt a nudge, an inexplicable pull as if something beyond your everyday senses is trying to guide you? Maybe it's a hunch that turned out to be right, or a dream so vivid it felt more like a message than mere imagination. These aren't just coincidences. What if in those very moments your higher self was trying to connect with you? In today's journey, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and transformative concepts of self-awareness, your higher self. While it may seem abstract, perhaps even unbelievable, to think that there is a wiser, more enlightened version of you, watching from beyond this idea has fascinated spiritual seekers, philosophers, and mystics for generations. Let's not dismiss it too quickly. What if your higher self speaks to you not through booming voices or flashing lights, but in whispers, subtle signs, gut feelings, dreams and synchronicities woven into the fabric of your everyday life? Picture this: your higher self isn't some far-off mystical being. It's right there, just at the edge of your awareness. It's like a shadow walking beside you, always present but often overlooked. While you're tangled in the daily grind, it waits patiently, silently hoping you'll notice. And when you do, incredible clarity can unfold. Now take a moment to consider this idea. Everything about your existence, your body, emotions, and spirit is interconnected. These dimensions don't operate in isolation. They blend and interact, forming a tapestry of experiences that shape who you are and how you see the world. You might not always feel this unity, but it is there, quietly shaping your thoughts, actions, and reality. But here's the burning question: what does your higher self truly want? Above all, it desires your awareness. It yearns for you to awaken not just to your thoughts, but to the energetic flow of the world around you. When you're aware, you can discern which energies uplift you and which ones drag you down. Without this awareness, how can you know what feeds your spirit and what depletes it? So today, let's embark on this spiritual journey together. We're going to explore the hidden signals, subtle yet powerful, that your higher self uses to grab your attention. And once you start recognizing them, you may never look at your world the same way again. 1. Vivid, meaningful dreams. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt so real it lingered with you all day? That dream wasn't just a product of your unconscious mind. It could have been a message, an intentional sign from your higher self. Dreams are not just random thoughts or late-night chaos. They can serve as direct portals to a higher dimension. When your higher self wants to communicate something important, a warning, a revelation, or a gentle nudge, it may choose your dreamscape as its canvas. Imagine your dreams as bridges. On one side stands your earthly self, grounded in the physical world. On the other side, your higher self, rooted in wisdom, free from time. When the two connect in sleep, you may receive insights that seem to transcend the boundaries of past, present, and future. Have you ever had a dream that reflected exactly what you're going through in your waking life? That wasn't just coincidence. That's your soul speaking directly to you, encouraging you to pursue your passions, heal old wounds, or take a step you've been avoiding. It's a spiritual spotlight pointing to something that matters. So the next time you wake up feeling like a dream was trying to tell you something, don't dismiss it. Write it down, reflect on it, because your higher self may have just reached out from the shadows. 2. Mirroring through others. Here's a subtle sign that most people miss. Have you ever been in a conversation and suddenly realized that the person in front of you is echoing your thoughts? Their words align perfectly with your own, as if you are both tuned to the same frequency. This phenomenon is called mirroring, and it's no accident. Picture two friends talking. One says something, and the other nods in complete agreement, saying nearly the same thing word for word. It's not rehearsed. It just happens. It's as if they're speaking from a shared consciousness, a deeper place beyond personality or ego. That's your higher self at work. When this happens often, when conversations seem to reflect your inner thoughts, beliefs, or feelings, it's a signal. Your higher self is using the people around you as mirrors to show you something, to guide your awareness, or to validate what you've been silently contemplating. But these signs can be drowned out by the noise of daily life. To fully receive them, you need to create stillness. Moments of intentional quiet, free from distraction, allow your higher self to rise from the background and speak clearly. Think of stillness as the language your soul understands best. When you slow down and truly listen, you'll begin to see these mirrored moments not as random, but as carefully timed messages from the divine part of you. 3. Intuition, your inner compass. Now we arrive at one of the most powerful signs: intuition. That quiet, persistent voice within, it's not loud and it doesn't shout, but it always knows. Intuition is like a compass encoded with truth. It guides you toward what's right for you, often before your logical mind catches up. And one of its most remarkable features, it can warn you before something happens. Imagine this. It's Monday morning, you're rushing to work and you have two ways to get there. One is your usual route, the other an unfamiliar shortcut. Logically, your routine path makes the most sense, but something inside nudges you toward the unfamiliar road. It feels random, even irrational, but you follow the instinct anyway. Later, you find out there was a traffic accident on your usual route causing long delays. That subtle inner voice saved you time, stress, and maybe something more. That's intuition in action. It's your higher self reaching through the fog of logic and routine to gently steer you toward the best path, even when you don't understand why. But here's the key to hear your intuition clearly. You need to trust it. Doubt weakens the signal. Confidence sharpens it. Every time you act on your inner knowing, you strengthen the connection between your earthly self and your higher self. Your intuition isn't just a useful tool. It's a sacred messenger, one that guides you toward well-being, purpose, and peace. When you honor it, you align with the part of you that sees more than your eyes ever could. We've only just begun to uncover the signs. Vivid dreams, mirrored conversations, and intuition are just the start. In the next chapter of this journey, we'll explore even more mysterious and powerful ways your higher self may be trying to reach you. So stay with us. Let your curiosity guide you. The more you learn to recognize these signs, the closer you come to unlocking your full potential and awakening the divine presence that's always been a part of you, your intuition. A guide beyond logic, our intuition doesn't just whisper about what lies ahead. It can illuminate unresolved issues from our past and offer clarity for conflicts we might currently face. It's a delicate compass, not always leading us to immediate success, but always pointing toward growth. Even when the outcome feels like a failure, following your intuition reveals hidden layers of understanding. It teaches, nurtures, and prepares us for future insight. So on this ongoing journey of spiritual awakening and self-discovery, one of the wisest decisions you can make is to trust that intuitive voice. It's not just a random hunch. It's a sacred inner companion devoted to helping you live a life of deeper purpose and fulfillment. 4. The sudden appearance of key people. Have you ever crossed paths with someone at exactly the right moment, just when you needed help, encouragement, or even a simple reminder that you're not alone? This isn't mere chance, it's a sacred alignment. The fourth sign from your higher self may arrive in the form of people who seem to appear out of nowhere but leave a lasting impact. It's as if the universe, in all its silent precision, placed them in your life with intentional timing. These encounters are not random, they are orchestrated, carefully woven into your life's unfolding story. Whether it's an old friend you hadn't spoken to in years, suddenly calling when you were feeling down, or a new acquaintance who offers advice you didn't know you needed, these moments carry profound meaning. They are spiritual nudges reminding you that you are never walking your path alone. Instead of brushing off these encounters, pause. Look closely. What message might this person carry for you? How might their words or presence be part of a larger plan designed for your growth? The universe listens and responds, often in the form of another human soul. Isn't it astonishing to consider that your soul might be reaching out to another, drawing them near when the time is right? This is the dance of synchronicity, a reminder that your journey is deeply connected to others and to the cosmic intelligence that guides us all. 5. The power of your thoughts. Let's explore a channel of higher self-communication that many of us underestimate: our own thoughts. They're not just fleeting reactions or mental noise. Your thoughts shape your reality, influence your emotions, and serve as messengers between your conscious self and the higher consciousness within you. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a state of peace and positivity, your thoughts seem clearer, more uplifting, and even inspired? That's your higher self, stepping in, gently encouraging you to embrace the connections, lessons, and beauty in your life. The thoughts we hold often mirror our spiritual beliefs and emotional states. When you experience a surge of inspiration or insight that feels like it came from beyond your usual reasoning, that could be your higher self delivering a message, bypassing logic to speak straight to your core. So how can we strengthen this connection? Practices like meditation, mindfulness, and journaling act as gateways to the deeper self. They allow us to tune in to become aware of not just what we think, but why we think it. Over time, this self-awareness helps you distinguish between the thoughts that arise from ego, fear, doubt, insecurity, and those that are born of your higher self. Intuition, inspiration, compassion, love. When we honor these inspired thoughts, we begin to live in alignment with our soul's purpose. We create space for spiritual growth, for healing, for transformation. And most importantly, we start to realize that our thoughts are not just reflections of who we are. They are tools, powerful spiritual tools that help us become who we are meant to be. 6. The separation from certain individuals. This next sign can be one of the most difficult to accept, but also one of the most liberating. As you evolve on your path of self-discovery, you might notice certain people slowly drift out of your life. These might be old friends, family members, or even longtime colleagues. At first, it can be confusing or even painful. You might ask yourself, why is this happening? Why now? The truth is your higher self is leading you through a powerful transformation. As you commit to becoming a more conscious, aligned version of yourself, your energy shifts. You begin to radiate at a different frequency, one that naturally attracts those who uplift, support, and resonate with your evolving spirit. And just as naturally, you may begin to distance yourself from relationships that feel draining, toxic, or stagnant. Sometimes this separation is mutual, quiet, and without conflict. Other times it may be emotionally charged. Either way, it's part of a larger process of spiritual realignment. This doesn't mean those people are bad or wrong. It simply means that your paths are no longer in sync. It takes courage to walk away from familiarity. But doing so allows you to create space for the kind of relationships that feed your soul. You'll start to notice that you're drawn to people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who mirror the new values you're cultivating. This transition is sacred. It reflects a deeper calling from your higher self, urging you to surround yourself with love, truth, and authenticity. So when people leave, or when you're moved to let go, don't see it as a loss. See it as spiritual pruning, making room for new growth. 7. The depth and intensity of your emotions. Finally, we arrive at the 7th sign, one that resides deep within your heart. Have you ever experienced emotions so intense they felt almost overwhelming? Sudden joy, profound sadness, unexpected gratitude, or even unexplainable compassion for someone you barely know. These waves of emotion are not just random fluctuations. They may be signals from your higher self, your soul reaching out to awaken your awareness. Emotions are energy in motion, and when they surge with unusual intensity, it's often because your inner self is trying to draw your attention to something important, something that logic alone cannot grasp. For instance, you might be moved to tears by a sunset, a song, or a kind word from a stranger, or you might feel a powerful urge to help someone, even if you don't know why. These moments, though subtle, carry great spiritual significance. Your higher self speaks the language of feeling. In those intense emotional states, you are more open, more receptive, and more connected to the unseen forces guiding out your journey. You're in a sacred space where insight, healing, and divine messages can break through. So instead of suppressing those feelings, embrace them. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to show me? What truth is buried beneath the surface? By honoring your emotions instead of fearing them, you create a channel of trust between your physical self and your higher self. You allow wisdom to rise from your depths and bring clarity, compassion, and purpose into your life. Stay tuned. As we continue our exploration of the higher self, remember these signs are not to be feared, but embraced. They are invitations, whispers from the divine part of you, urging you to wake up, to listen, and to evolve. In the next part of this journey, we'll uncover even more extraordinary ways your higher self communicates through synchronicities, symbols, and serendipitous moments that defy explanation. The more you notice, the more your world transforms. The emotional bridge to your higher self. Sometimes connecting with your higher self isn't serene, it's raw, overwhelming, and intense. It can stir a deep emotional tide ranging from radiant joy to aching sadness, or even moments of inward reflection so deep they border on melancholy. And that's not a flaw, it's a sign. When your emotions swell unexpectedly, when you feel waves of happiness or sorrow with no clear cause, you may be experiencing an energetic alignment between your emotional self and your higher self. Your soul is surfacing. It's pushing you toward a greater understanding of who you are and what you're meant to become. In these moments of emotional intensity, it's vital to see them not as breakdowns, but as breakthroughs. They're sacred signals of inner evolution, evidence that your spirit is responding to a higher calling. And as you allow those emotions to flow through you, something beautiful begins to happen. Your emotional world becomes a portal to deeper spiritual awareness. 8. Seeking solace in solitude. Have you recently found yourself turning inward, craving alone time, even avoiding social situations you once enjoyed? This isn't selfishness, it's spiritual recalibration. One of the clearest signs that your higher self is awakening is an increasing desire for solitude. Not loneliness, but intentional space. A sanctuary where your mind can breathe and your spirit can speak. When your higher self seeks connection, it often withdraws your attention from the chaos of the outside world and draws it inward. You begin to pull back from distractions, from noise, from superficial conversations. You feel the need to retreat, not because you're lost, but because you're beginning to find yourself. And within this sacred space, clarity begins to emerge. You reflect more. You think more deeply. You begin to understand what nourishes your soul and what no longer serves you. So if you're finding joy in quiet mornings, long walks alone, or evenings spent in contemplation, honor that. That's not isolation, that's invitation. Your higher self is calling you inward into the sacred silence where truth lives. 9. The rising urge to meditate. Do you feel a growing pull to sit in silence, to just be? This might not be a passing whim. It might be your higher self asking to meet you. Meditation isn't just relaxation. It's a sacred meeting place between your physical and spiritual selves. When you meditate, you tune out the noise of the external world and tune into the deepest parts of your being. It's where the ego softens and the soul rises. Many who walk the spiritual path report this inner call. It's subtle at first, a fleeting thought like I should meditate more. But over time, that whisper becomes a persistent need. It's your higher self reaching out, offering you stillness as a gateway to wisdom, healing, and peace. I've felt it too. That longing to pause, to disconnect from the endless scroll of modern life and reconnect with the eternal now. When I meditate, I feel whole, present, complete. And in that space, I realize I am not just thinking, I am being. Meditation doesn't just calm the mind. It clears the spiritual clutter. It reveals what's true, what's essential, and what must be released. Relationships that no longer align, fears that have outlived their purpose, they gently fall away. In this sacred space, you gain access to higher realms, spaces of peace, clarity, and divine intelligence. You begin to see your challenges differently. You stop reacting and start responding with grace, with awareness, with trust. 10. A surge of inspiration and life purpose. Finally, let's talk about one of the most exhilarating signs, an electrifying sense of purpose and creativity. Have you recently felt more inspired than ever before? New ideas bubbling up, a growing urge to create, to change your life, to take bold action. That's no coincidence. As your connection with your higher self deepens, a new energy begins to flow through you. It sparks creativity, ignites motivation, and awakens your courage. You begin to dream bigger, move more intentionally, and take steps you once hesitated to consider. You might suddenly feel driven to start a business, move to a new place, begin a new relationship, or launch a project close to your heart. These urges are not just random, they're soulful. They're signs that your higher self is working through you, encouraging you to live fully, authentically, and without fear. When this energy awakens, you begin to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You feel bolder, braver, more willing to face the unknown. This is the awakening of your potential. Yes, there will be challenges, but there will also be flow. Opportunities will arise that feel perfectly timed. New paths will open. Supportive people will appear. Because when you align with your higher self, you align with your destiny. Strengthen the connection. These 10 signs: vivid dreams, mirrored conversations, deep intuition, synchronistic relationships, powerful thoughts, emotional intensity, solitude, meditation, transformation, and soul-level inspiration are all sacred invitations. They are ways your higher self reaches out, reminding you of your divinity, your power, and your potential. Of course, every journey is unique. You may experience some signs more than others. You may notice new ones arise that weren't mentioned here. That's the beauty of spiritual growth. It's personal, evolving, and deeply profound. So I invite you, take time for reflection. Practice introspection. Create moments of stillness, because in those quiet moments, you'll begin to hear the voice of your higher self more clearly. And as you strengthen that connection, your life will begin to change in extraordinary ways. Thank you for being here. If this video resonated with you, if even one part sparked a realization or touched your heart, please consider giving it a like. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future messages like this. And share this video with someone who might be ready to hear it too. Your journey matters, your awakening matters, and your higher self is always with you, waiting patiently, lovingly for you to listen. Leave a comment below, share your experiences. Which of these signs have you felt? What's been calling you lately? Let's build a community of awareness and support together. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay present, and I'll see you again very soon.